Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to West of Loathing. Now, we are not exactly where we were before. Before, we were at Shaggy Dog Cave. Yes, that's right, it's being told an extremely long story. However, after losing a lot in the combat previously, in the last episode, I thought I'd do some farming, so I gave up being a cowboy and started ranching. No, I didn't. I came here and I murdered a heck of a lot of these things. Like a lot of them. I've been sitting here farming some XP for quite a while. I've upgraded quite a few of my skills. And I've actually, because I've not been yakking the whole time, I've actually had time to analyse how things work a little bit. Muscle, Mysticality and Moxie refer to the three main damage types, which is meleeing, spells and shooting. And I was neglecting my Mysticality because I was thinking, well, I'm not casting any spells. But it also affects your resistance to that damage type as well as the actual damage that you do, which is very important. Susie has also leveled up because we've been fighting cows. Susie has leveled up about 5 times and she's now doing about 50 damage per shot. She's doing about 5 times as much damage as I am. Upgraded one or two of the other skills a little bit. I also discovered this skill, which I had and didn't realise, which means you start off the fight, if you use it, by increasing all your base skills by quite a bit, which is like a 50% increase for me, which is amazingly useful. I didn't really get anything, as you can see. I got quite a lot of these, because I got this for each fight. I also got some of these as well. A wispy, tattered little bit of infernal cow spirit, just hanging out on the side of this pail going, boo. It's an insubstantial piece of an infernal cow. Destroy it or leave it alone? I feel like that could come in handy for something. Or possibly haunt me forever. I don't know. Tell you what, the other thing I should have done is go through all of my bits and pieces and see if I've got anything better. No, not by a long shot. See, that could potentially do a lot more damage, but also potentially do a hell of a lot less damage. Melee attack damage. Is that more important than the stench resistance? Because I don't think I've actually been attacked by anything stinky yet. So, right, anyway, that's enough of that. Let's actually get on with the game. Nothing else happened. Apart from the discovery of this place, as I was wandering up from Shaggy Dog Cave, I bumped into this place, which is a thing. You spy a burned-out ranch house on the horizon and pull McBumchel up to investigate. There's nothing much of interest above ground, but you find a locked door leading to a presumably still intact root cellar, which we still can't access because I still haven't got the lock-picking skill. Okay, you have had some... Well, his product certainly works. Just perhaps not at the intended time. Hi, friend. Okay, no conversation. Dynamite. 1 year is stenciled on the crate in an official-looking typeface. That's a lot of money. I don't know what I need that for, but it's a hell of a lot. Damages an enemy in combat and is sometimes used for outside of combat as well. Speak softly and carry a loud stick. I think I'm going to buy a few of these. Just because they're used for outside of combat. Like, I may get to a place where I need some for something. Okay, so now that I've leveled up, we can go there later. What? You spot an astonishingly large horse apple in the distance. You are astonished by the size of it. It is very large. Horse apple. Apples made of horses. Okay, that's interesting. That'll certainly spice up a Sunday dinner when we're getting the apple sauce out. Okay, so basically the whole purpose of all of that was to not get my butt kicked by these kids. Again. So let's try. I can also show you this skill, which I didn't use before because I didn't have enough AP. But I now do have enough AP. I can show you what the skill is like. It's useless. It never hits anybody. But, as you can see from dearest Susan here, she does a shocking amount of damage. What? Did that? Hang on, I saw that. Susie doesn't like to shoot thin air. Oh, gosh. But, yeah, Susie does like an amazing amount of damage now, so, and because I've upgraded my Mysticality, I'm now better protected against these spells that they are casting, because apparently that's what the little squiggles are. So, I'm still pretty screwed, because I think they're going to do an awful lot more damage to me than I'm going to be able to do to them, and I'm not going to survive enough turns with Susie to sort this problem out. I also find it quite entertaining how nobody ever attacks Susie, they always only attack me, which is a good strategy, because by killing me, they end the fight, and by killing Susie, they don't. So, I may survive this by a small margin. We shall see. I'm just going to have to keep walloping on one while Susie deals with all the others. And this is what I feel a bit bad about, right? Because Susie's amazing at this game, and I'm terrible at it. Susie's the exact opposite of the way in games normally when you can have a companion. I normally don't have a companion in games like this, or Fallout, or things like that, because it just seems pointless to me, because they usually... that was wrong one. Never mind. It doesn't matter. I normally don't go with companions because they're usually useless, but Susie is amazing, and I'm dreadful. But never mind, she's the only one keeping me alive at this rate. Okay, was that not necessary? I hope that was necessary for something. Okay, this skull has a golden tooth, which we're just going to pilfer for some reason. This skull is twitching in an unnerving fashion, although I guess there's no way it could be twitching which wouldn't be unnerving, given that it's a skull. Right, oh, for crying out loud, this is going to be... Oh, I have got this skill, which is a lot better, which just shoots people 3 times. You can only use it once, and it still doesn't do as much damage as one shot from Susie, which you can do every turn. So yeah, it's shockingly, it's shocking how terrible this is. Right, this skull is sitting at a weird angle, and I suppose that is noticeable for some reason. Look underneath it. There is a souvenir spoon. Was resting atop a commemorative spoon. Your treasure hunting skills are finally honed, though not very discriminating. I doubt this is very expensive. This is one of those collectible pewter spoons you get from gift shops in the different graveyards. This item goes in your offhand. What's currently in my offhand? Is that this? So spell damage, or melee damage, or moxie. What's my moxie again? Pistol damage. Arrgh. Interesting. Am I using more pistol, or... I think I'd rather have the balance. And do you know what? I just kind of like the motif, right? I'm a man that likes a nice lapel pin, and I like the motif of the cow thing. This skull is whispering at you. That doesn't seem right, given that they don't have any lips, or lungs, or vocal cords, or any of the other vitally important organs for this kind of thing. It just sounds like gibberish, though. Really, really creepy gibberish. Oh, okay. Can I not... Have I not got the skull whispering translation thingamajig, like I got for the goblins? There's an empty alcove, there's a little serial number written below it, and this is where that skull you found goes. When the hell did I find that? I don't know. Right. This pile of skulls has been cemented together for some reason. Alright, let's wallop it apart. At the centre of the pile you unearth a skull? A shiny black stone. It's making more noise than stones usually do. How bizarre. Let's have an investigation of that. It's still eerily louder than most of the stones you remember. Listen to it. This rock is really whispering up a storm, and in some weird dialect you can barely understand though. Wait, no, it's just a thick accent is all. I lost my hair by reading a creepy book. I dread to think what I'm going to lose from listening to this thing. You listen more carefully to the stone. Over the course of a few minutes, it whispers resolve into comprehensible English. The stuff the stone is whispering about turns out it's pretty boring. It's mostly just trivia about the geology of Tennessee, meaningless to you unless you're planning a spelunking trip pretty soon. Oh well, at least you can understand the accent now. You're fluent in the very specific dialect of whisperings of the dead. Will that help me understand this? The skull whispers to you about some dark mountain secrets, which we can't print here because your computer would catch fire. Honest. Anyway, right. The bones are jiggling and rattling in an agitated way. Whisper to them. You whisper some ancient words of appeasement, and they settle down a little. Oh, I've become a bone whisperer. I can whisper about people's bones. Right-ho. Is there anything written on this plaque? This way to the... I'm not going to try and pronounce that I am terrible at Spanish. It's a plaque. Read it. Here lies St. Bufus. After he died, his body kept trying to rise to heaven, but it was so heavy it just kind of flopped around a bunch, and they had to interment him in a big stone sarcophagi to put up with it. Ew. Is he still in there? They really had to build stone sarcophagi back in the day. Open it with my big beefy arms to meet Saint Beefus, or possibly beat Saint Beefus. You grunt and strain and force the heavy stone sarcophagus off the lid. There's a skeleton inside. His bones are huge! Alright, mate, there's no need to keep making these comparisons. What's wrong with you? With a constant reference to these things. Fortunately, he appears to be asleep. Well, better wake him up, I suppose, for no particularly good reason. Oh my giddy aunt, I'm so screwed, I'm going to have to use this thing. That doesn't do much damage at all, I'm going to drink this. Oh no, but then I won't be able to use this. Darn it. Never mind. Let's just do that, because that will increase my muscle, which will make me more resistant to damage, and I think he's going to do a lot of damage when I hit him. I also discovered these, which I never noticed I had before. I can pull a snake out of my briefcase, which I think belonged to my grandmother, and deploy it to my side of the battlefield. A bit like this, only... no, not that. A bit like this, only presumably it will actually freaking work. And apparently I have a snake whip as well, but they're both rubbish, because I haven't upgraded them at all yet. So... that does no damage whatsoever. So he's not permeable to heat damage. Oh dear. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, I mean that does more damage than anything else. I'm gonna... spooky damage. Yes, indeed. I wouldn't have really thought I would have done much to a skeleton. But she's just so strong. She's amazing. And that was not amazing. That was laughable. I was frightened of you. What the hell was I worrying about? Right, go on, finish him off. Minus 43. Oh dear, the bigger they are, the harder they excommunicate. St. Beefus's finger, so big that he had more bone in his little finger than most people have in their entire arm. And St. Beefus's leg was so big he had to sit in 2 chairs at a time. Damage. Oh, please tell me I can wallop people with someone's thigh. Oh, I can so wallop people with someone's thigh, and it's massively better. It's shockingly better. That is amazing. I'm going to get chased by so many dogs in this place. But that is amazing. Okay, I've now got 350 XP. What do I want to do with that? This is a good skill as well that I didn't realise I had before. I didn't know what it did. It's basically just a pistol multiplier, which might be something to do with my my skill, but I don't know quite what to get. There's many good things that I would like to get. Yeah, these are my snake whip, which allow me to upgrade them a little bit, but I might do those a bit later. I want to like vary things up a bit, because I've realised depending on like the different damage types and like hot damage or spooky damage or things, different enemies have different vulnerabilities to these things. You know, it's basic RPG stuff, which I am too much of a cretin to work out. I want to balance out my moxie a bit. Yeah, because that was getting a bit low. I might up. What does my glamour do again? Some cool stuff. Yeah, I'll upgrade that a little bit as well. Yeah, there we are. Just balance things out a little bit so nothing gets left behind. Right-ho. What? This was the remains of some dark ritual that was abandoned weeks ago. Except I didn't realise what was going on because... excuse me, hang on a moment. Because I was standing behind this fucking thing. Right. Here lies Santa Cortada. She was drawn and quartered by heretics. And then the quarters that had her head on it was beheaded. And then the dismemberment was so affected that nobody was able to get her body back together except for just a few bones. So they cut her into 5 pieces? Goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... no, 6, because I clearly can't count. Reassemblage with my 10 mysticality. Okay, you're pretty sure you've got the bones assembled correctly. Now let's just break them all apart again. What? No, but the very last minute the bones fly apart again, it seems like all you've accomplished was making them angry. That's all I accomplished with most things in life. Oh, gosh. Okay, there's 7 of them. There's no way this can miss. I'm going to aim for the one in the middle as well, if I can. There we are. Okay, they've got a lot of health. This could go really badly if it doesn't hit many of them. Okay, about 3 of the bullets hit, but most of them did, like, no damage at all. Which is really irritating. Never mind. Which one's the strongest? Yeah, not the stuff at the front, probably the stuff at the back. Yeah, like that one. Oh no, I'll miss if I hit that one. Because if you hit people at the back, you end up hitting people at the front, which is really irritating. But yeah. I just want to hit the strong pieces first and get them out of the game. I'm trying to... oh, that's sneaky. It heals each other. Don't try to bone me, mate. That won't... You won't succeed. You won't succeed. How has that got minus? Oh no, that's because I'm aiming at the wrong thing. It's got -1 health because it's not a thing. Right, what kind of pistol damage does this do? This is doing a lot better. Okay then, let's carry on whittling away at this kid, and then we'll let Susie deal with some of the bigger, stronger, beefier types. Righto, finish her off, Susan. Thank you very much. Right, that battle got a bit confusing. That battle got a bit confusing for me because all the bonuses lay on the floor and I couldn't tell which ones were still alive and which ones are dead. I was constantly shooting at the wrong people. Never mind. Saint Cortada's skull. This skull has a real on and off kind of relationship with the rest of that skeleton. Saint Cortada's ring. This ring makes you feel like you're in multiple places at once. Spooky. Mysticality and speed. That sounds kind of cool. What do I have on my ring finger? The nasty ring. One of each, or specifically 2 mysticality and 2 speed. I mean, my speed's pretty decent at the moment as it is. What is my speed? My speed is 5. It's not too bad. But I mean, this is just a 1 to everything, which is nice, but it's not amazing. I'll think about it. I'll keep it in mind and in pocket, but I'll keep it in mind. What's this? Just some trash. Clover cheerroot butts. I presume that's a type of cigarette. Stubs of black eyeliner pencil. That kind of thing. The necromancer's cultists are litter bugs. It's strange though. How did they even get in here? Maybe because they were right here, just before I sprinkled all the moon dust on the floor, whatever it was that completely ruined my ability to recreate the thing. This scroll has mostly been burned beyond legibility, however you can just barely out making something about hellcow energy between the scorch marks. The scroll is in bad shape and you can't make out anything new, but you're convinced this must be another clue to the necromancer's whereabouts. You stick the scroll in your journal. Good, we must go and actually find them eventually. Okay, there's a lot going on in this room. I need a plaque to help me understand it all. Here lies Saint Pope. He was excommunicated for impersonating a pope. There's some kind of bureaucratic issue. They weren't able to unbeatify him. A fraudulent pope. Saint Pope stands beatifically behind the dais, and he just keeps doing his pope gestures, ignoring you. How can someone look so smug without even having a face? The longer you're watching him, the more he gets on your nerves. Insult him. You unleash a torrent of insults that would make a sailor blush and a sailor's mother ashamed of a sailor. Saint Pope's eye is narrow, which again is difficult given that he hasn't got any. Looks like you finally managed to get him mad enough to fight you. Hooray. I'm sorry, what in the name of Bluebeard's balls just happened? Okay, right. I can't shoot him, can I? Because he's going to shoot the skeleton cardinal instead. Stop waggling that thing at me, mate. It's very disconcerting. Should I have that? See, the problem with this is it's great because it powers me up, but then it uses all my AP and I can't do anything else. But then thinking about it, Susie's first attack isn't going to be able to hit the saint. She's only going to be able to hit him, I think. Or is it because she's on a slightly different angle? Sometimes that seems to affect her. I don't know. Let's just fire bullets every which way and see what happens. Can I shoot him? No, I can't. Okay, so my original plan to actually drink the thing and do less damage would have been a better idea. If you summon another one, good, Susie can still shoot you. That's all I care about. But Susie isn't going to be able to kill you in one shot, so I'm going to try and weaken you a little bit so that she has a better chance. Just walloped his organ, literally. Sleaze damage. I mean, that's kind of fitting, but come on. Oh, I was anointed. Oh, I don't want to ever do that again. Oh, goodness. Right, I'm just going to get rid of him in the hope that that will get rid of his sons. No, it won't. I'm completely screwed. Oh, dear. This is an extremely serious issue. I have nothing to help myself with. Deal 20 damage but won't end your turn. Arrgh. Summon a skeletal body between you and the forces of evil. Just gonna do that in the hope that will keep me alive long enough to survive this, because hopefully they will hit someone else. They'll hit the skeleton instead of me. I just really do not want to die in this situation. Okay, Right. I could use the dynamite. I could. In fact, if I throw the dynamite at him, then I wallop him. Assuming this doesn't do the minimum damage, which it didn't, then it's alright. That doesn't matter, because now... Yes, it does, because that brings him just under the ability for Susie to kill him. Oh, I take back everything unkind I ever said about that little skeleton. Now I have a fake Pope hat. The audacity! And the excellentness. A Pope's pelvis is never been used. I think there's a joke in there, and I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to go with it, just in case I'm wrong. Right-ho. This has got to come in handy for something, isn't it? The audacity. Do I want that? 3 Moxie or a fake Pope hat? 2 armor. A Moxie. Moxie is the pistol damage as opposed to the... Oh, that's 3 Moxie. So I'd lose one of my Moxie, but I'd get 2 armor. How does it look? Kind of terrible, because it kind of comes slightly too far down over my eyes and looks slightly too much like a beanie for my taste. I like the old a sloppy toppy. It's very fitting, I think, given my my verbal stumblings, my very sloppy vocals, and my sense of style. Right-ho! I presume I've sorted out your problem now, even though I've already forgotten what it was. Hmm? Oh, this is what they're for. That's right. You pop the Pope's pelvis back into the Pope pelvis plinth. Sister Mary is pleased as punch. Return the finger bone, the weirdly huge finger bone to its reliquary, and Sister Mary is delighted. You've recovered all of the relics. Thank you so much. I'm glad I could have helped, sister. I must reward you for your efforts, though. We don't have much, but with these boots, look like they might fit you. Silk nun's boots. These boots are none too sturdy, but they look amazing. Maximum AP and Moxie. Wow! New shoes! I'd rather you give me a pair of pants, given that I walked in here without any of them. But never mind. Do I want 4 muscle or 3 Moxie? Moxie is pistol damage. I do love pistol damage. Give me maximum AP as well, which would give me more opportunity to do stuff in combat. Has brought my muscle down a lot, which means I'm going to do more damage from melee attacks, but not a lot of people have been meleeing me. Everyone's doing sorts of weird damage to me, like anointing me and sleazelizing me and all sorts of weird stuff like that. Right, let's go and figure out what the hell this thing is. No, let's not. Let's get involved with something else first. There's a skull just rolling down towards you, like directly towards you, and when you step to one side it swerves to match? Fix it down. Hi friend, you are not going to stand a chance against us because we are going to kick some butt. I don't even need Susie this time. No, I don't. A tumble skull. Oh, like a tumbleweed. Oh, that's funny. You punted the skull back into the sunset. Good for me. Right-ho, what's this? As you reach the centre of the clearing, you are simultaneously struck with profound awe and a terrible stench as you discover the largest road apple you ever... Oh, that's what you mean by apple. You can't imagine how this got here. Was it a giant horse or 200 normal-sized horses acting collaboratively? They should have sent a poet. Goodness. What do you think of this situation? What do you think of this situation? No matter how long you work at ranch, it's a smell you never get used to. Blech. Is there anything else here? No, there isn't. There's just this. It doesn't smell any better up close. Shovel it. You make a little dent in it. Well, this is an easier way of farming XP, if admittedly an enormously longer one. Oh, am I going to get rid of the whole thing eventually? It's quite a bit more than it was before. But I'm destroying a natural landmark, and we haven't even got a camera because they haven't been invented yet. To keep as a memento for future generations. Oh well. I mean, alright. I think. Did I do a thing? Did I get a perk for that or something? No. Just got a small amount of XP, which I should probably use to upgrade my muscle. Bring it back to where it was. Right-ho. Is this like place going to disappear now? Because there's literally nothing here. It's literally just an empty bit of woodland. Never mind. Let's go to the millinery, because I can't remember what we were doing there. Your transponder thingy starts bleeping at you, and you play hot and cold with it until you find a weird looking crate hidden behind some rocks. Open it. You fumble around inside the crate until you find a bit that makes the lid open while you push it. You get some scraps. The professor will be interested in them, I bet. I don't know how many he wanted, though, because there's not like a journal in this to keep track of what you're doing. There is a piece of thick paper with a few square holes punched in it. It looks like these were the ones used for the census back in 90. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, this is a hat shop. Excellent. Or it might have once been a hat shop a very long time ago. You walk into the millinery, or however the hell you say that word, and find 5 bandits lounging around in a big old pile of half-made hats. It's the law. Skedaddle. The bandits scatter like cockroaches, each shutting themselves off behind a different door. I guess you're left random, individual-like. Can I have a hat? Patch of filthy floor with a lot of hats. Ah, funny. Brims. These boxes are full to the brim. With full to the. Oh, funny. This was apparently the demo model for a player piano showroom. It's only got 3 songs in it, and they're all children's versions of traditional songs which have recently in the recently invented public domain, and they're all set to play just the first few seconds on a loop. The people who work here must have hated it. Public domain Joe, my old public domain home, the yellow rose of public domain. The first one, I suppose. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. These hats look like they've got more comfortable to sit on than to wear. Okay, right, should we investigate the office first? No, we shan't, because I still haven't got the freaking lockpicking. This is what I'm going to have to look up how you get the lockpicking skill. Right, let's do the first one. So many brims, so little time. Is this where they're hiding? I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say it's this one, and I don't know what that word is, except I think it's French. Okay. Just like a hat, that went straight over my head. You already count the bandit in that room. Okay, so is this literally just a game? And you just have to figure out which one's which? Well, I better not pick the wrong one, or else he's probably gonna get away. You know much about hat making, but you know this doesn't make any sense. Dents. Oh, goodness. Maybe it's just a big hammer. None of them are reacting. None of them are doing anything different. And again, nothing here. I wonder if I was something to do with the music outside. Because that can't just be pointless. That must lead into something, right? What? Squash it. These are parts for some kind of a hat you'd never wear. I'm sure. I'm sure. Right, okay. There must be something weird going on. There must be some way I can tell the difference between these. More brims. More brims. Let me try a different song. Yeah. Let's go to the first one. This is a bit better in terms of musical quality. I don't know what I'm looking for is the thing. I'm looking, but I don't know what I'm looking for. What? You changed the song piano. Is that whistling you hear? Oh, is one of them whistling now? Wow, that's incredibly stupid. I can't hear any whistling in here. That's Cotton Eye Joe, isn't it? That's the melody it's playing. I hear snoring. I don't... Oh! Aha. Has discovered a sleepy person. I guess that's what happens when you're such a rubbish detective. It takes you all night to find your enemy. They just fall asleep eventually. So who's whistling? Well, that must be you, he says, immediately stepping out of the room like a twit. Oh, they move. They move around. A sneaky, but not a sneaky enough. Right-ho, so who's the one missing then? Just number 3? Oh, this hat is a little different. This doesn't have quite the same indentation in it. I'm hoping it's this one. And I was right. Is that all of them? No, it can't be, because there's 5 rooms and we've only got 4 bandits. Yeah, we're still missing one in here. Arr. The hats are all physically the same. Oh, hang on. Did you see something wiggle? Like at the back row, middle column. This one's wiggling a little bit. Don't be wiggling! It's a good thing I've got a good shot, isn't it? Or else they'll all be dead with now. You found all 5 of the bandits. Time to deal with them. What do you want to do with these bandits? Time to turn them into Dirtwater. You march the black hat bandits back to Dirtwater at the end of a rope and lock them in a town jail. Where'd you find them? The old millinery? Yep, of course. You know, bandits would be a lot harder to find if they didn't keep picking such thematic hideouts for some reason. Anyway, here's your reward. Toll is all in a day's work. Hooray! Looks like it's pretty full. Another wanted poster, a filthy one. Oh dearie me. Must frequent brothels. The Gherkin brothers for bringing kidnapping victims and attempted sale of human flesh for consumption. Oh, giddy aunt. This got a bit dark all of a sudden. Last headed to the abandoned pickle factory. Spooky. You can't let these dastardly kind of criminals escape justice. Wouldn't be kosher. Would you like to investigate? Sure thing. You mark down the old pickle factory on the map and then get worried about what time it is. Never mind, that's okay. And hopefully chase them down will get you into a real, well, you know. Righto. Is there anything else I should do here in Dirtwater while I'm around? Or is there anything at the Mercantile I might want to buy? No, nothing particularly important, I don't think. No more post, I presume? No, nothing more from Rufus. There's the jail, and the hot dogs, and then just a whole lot of not very much more. Oh yes, let's go to the professor's house and see if he wants the scrap that I found. Let's see what he would wants to do that. Oh, for crying out loud! I so want the lockpicking skill. Why don't I have that? I desperately want that. There must be like a skill book for it somewhere. Oh, it was 5 piles of scrap. Sorry. Do you know anything about ligaments? What? I don't know how much into that mystical mumbo jumbo. It's very unscientific, but it does come up in my research from time to time, so I can give you a basic overview. He draws some curves intersecting lines on a piece of paper and explains how they relate to local geography and the so-called mystical forces. It all goes over your head, but you think you've got the basics. I have no idea what that's related to, but never mind. Use it. This diagram is unsurprisingly comprehensible. You stick it in your necromancy journal. Oh, it's to do with this. Oh. The road will leads you to determine the necromancer's lair is west of the mountains. The ley line diagrams narrow down the locations to a handful of possible locations around the unseen currents of energy that riddle the land. That doesn't narrow it down. Cryptic notes about hell cow energy. It must be somewhere near a powerful source of it, but you don't know what that source is. Okay. So that answers a few questions, because it's like west of the mountains, and it needs to be near a source of hell cow energy. Speaking of going west, I noticed something in editing. Oh gosh, this was embarrassing. You remember this, right? Like this Jack Sparrow compass that we found? Remember how we examined it, and it said, go northwest? And then I probably went northeast. Yeah, you remember that? You remember that? Well, I'm sorry. I got my north and east mixed up. Okay. Where should we go next? We go to the railroad camp, but I think that's going to progress me into the next zone. I think I'd rather stay here until we're mostly done here, because I get the impression that this area is more dangerous. And while I'm better at the combat, I'm still not great at it. Okay, right. Let's muddle around for the next 10 minutes. Yeah, let's go to the circus. Let's have something a bit fun for once, rather than just lots of death. Oh no. You catch something out of the corner of your eye. A horseshoe whirling down the hill towards you. It stops at the edge of the trail and falls over the small thump, sorry. Hey, someone calls out to you. You look up, see 2 figures at the top of the hill about 100 yards away. Would you mind bringing them back? The man yells. We're playing horseshoes. But instead of picking up and walking away, we're just going to toss it, I suppose. Right. This is a little weird. You didn't expect to find a circus all the way out here. There's basically nobody for miles. There's a rodeo clown manning the ticket booth. Well, there hasn't been a rodeo since the cows came home, so now I guess he's just a clown. Ugh, Clowns, I hear. Them fellas put me right off my feed. They're creepy. When I was little, my uncle would give me nightmares with old stories about them. Oh, sure. You mean the old tales about demon cows and demon cows? Demon cows and demon clowns fighting in hell? What a menagerie. Yeah, and how rodeo clowns dressed up like that because the first rodeos were reenactments of those battles, and it became a traditional thing. I remember those stories back when I was young and myself. I ain't thought about them in decades. Don't be fouling your britches, though. These clowns are just fellas in makeup. Still keeps me out a little bit, though. Yes. What is my muscle? I was 12. I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. Never mind. It's just always irritating when those things when you're like really close and you screw it all up. Right. As you approach, the clown puts on a cheerful facial expression that retail employees use when the last thing they want to do is deal with a customer, but they're not allowed to say screw off. Welcome to Barnaby Bob's perfectly normal travelling circus. Sideshows here. How can I help you? You could write sentences that are easier for a twit like me to read. I'd like to see the circus. I'd like to run away with the circus. Oh goodness, well I did always want a job in entertainment. Aren't you a little too old for that? Sorry, we aren't hiring. Oh goodness. I'd like to see the circus. Well, you came to the right place then. If you'd like to get inside, you'd be needing a ticket. And let me guess, you can sell more for an extortionate price. Why, I certainly can. That's my job for you. For a ticket, sir, that'll cost 5,000 meat. Does it seem a bit high? I promise you, sir, the price is real steel. Well, you've got that right. The question is who's stealing from whom. Why is it so expensive? Well, now, there's no pedunk little travelling circus. We've got rides, games, foods, and an amazing demonstration of the light knife-throwing skill of nobody other than the Barnaby Bob himself. Tell me about the rides, the games, the food, and tell me about Barnaby Bob. Who's Barnaby Bob? The boss is a real master of knives, let me tell you. He does this amazing stunt, but to get a volunteer from the audience up on stage and throw knives at them. He never misses his targets. I get the distinct impression his target is their head. You did leave out the part where he puts an apple on top of their head or something? What? Oh, yeah, right. What about the food? Is there any good grub in here? Your favourites? Popcorn, sarsaparilla with the fancy new bottle caps. I hope that's a reference to Fallout. And get this, did you hear about the new thing the fellow invented? Cotton candy? I might have. Yes, personally I think it's dreadful, but you know, to each their own. Yeah, well, it's still patented, but we're pretty sure we figured out how to make it. More or less. What about the games? I've got a ton of them. I mean, does 3 count as a ton? 3 sounds like some. I wouldn't even go that far. I'd say some is like 4 or 5. A few is 3. Well, we've got some of them. What about the rides? Well, I suppose I should say ride, but we haven't had a single grisly merry-go-round accident since we started turning it on. You aren't very good at selling me this, particularly given the price tag. What? Whatever do you mean? Let's hornswoggle ya a little. Look, drop the act. You don't know who I am, do I? Sticky McFlynn, Bureau of Travelling Entertainment Inspections. Bureau of... That's not a thing. That's a thing. Can somebody check that? Oh, it's definitely a thing. A very serious thing, and your ticket prices won't be an encouraging note in my report. Whoa, now, hold on, Chief. Let's just judge here. Come on, you know how clowns do. So what's the actual fee? 500 mate. I'll be back once I've upgraded my didgeridoo. Can I upgrade it? No, I can't, because it's really expensive. Okay. Lots of money. I don't really need it. How much XP do I need? Quite a lot. Not a huge amount. I could probably get that from like 3 fights. I'm just on a bit of a tight schedule today, so I'm not sure I've got time. I'm gonna try and quickly rush through a few fights. Destroyed campsite. We'll go there later. I'll edit this out, obviously. I'm just gonna quickly get enough skill because I really want to hornswoggle him a little further. I want to get paid to go in there. So give me a minute. Yay! We did the thing. 1,000 XP, for goodness sake, that's a lot. Been a long time till I finish upgrading that. A crate, yes, anything good in it? Length of rope, branch dressing, nothing particularly important. Right ho. I can do this again. I would like to see the circus, please. Oh no, I've got to go through the whole thing again. I can't double hornswoggle you. Oh, for goodness sake, I feel like such a muppet. Well, that was a waste of my time, wasn't it? Never mind. Let me just step your hand for re-entry. There you go. What about my partner? Partners is free. Should have got farming money, not farming frickin' skills. Never mind. As you enter the circus, the ticket booth clowns, "Welcome to Barnaby Bob's perfectly normal travelling circus, whatever the hell it is, stroll into the circus, although it's more of a carnival, but let's not split hairs. They're almost entirely deserted. There aren't more than half a dozen other patrons like yourself, probably due to the price tag, and there are a bunch of clowns around, working at the booths and so on. More clowns than customers, which is a little unsettling. At least the lines won't be long. No. What do you think about the situation? Quite a hoopla going on here. No kidding, I guess words gets around. Yeah, entertainment's at a real premium at this neck of the woods. You want a balloon? Yeah, no. The merry-go-round has dirty cameras on the tape written over it. Condemned until further notice. We encourage anybody suffering from horse bites to consult a doctor. Right-ho. This is the sideshow. We've got some hot food, some cold drinks, some tepid candy, and a balloon. The clown here selling Bubba toy balloons. When he sees you, has your attention, he smiles and waggles a balloon at you enticingly. What a phrase. Can that interest you in a toy balloon? How do you make them float? There's like two of they all float around. Of course they do. I mean, helium would have been the option I expected you to say, I don't mind. What colours do you have? Well, just take a look. Red. They're all red. Not that you'd know. How much are they? For you, just 30 meat. Alright, I'll have a balloon. Might come in handy for something. Can you tell me anything more about your circus? Really, it's more of a carnival, but let's not split hairs. Let's just copy lines of dialogue. What would you like to know? What are the travelling plans? You seem a bit out of the way. We haven't decided yet. That's why we set down a bit more rural. Keep things relatively quiet while we scout around. Get the lay of the land so that we can invade and murder you all, presumably. You know, infect you with tiny hat syndrome. Where'd you travel from? Where was your previous stopping point? Sort of northwest-ish, a little hole-in-the-ground kind of place. You'd never have heard of it. Why is everyone in this place a clown? It's kind of traditional. Rodeo stopping point on. The rodeo clowns took out the jobs at the circuses and carnivals. Over the years, it just became a normal thing for canaries to be clowns. Sort of a community, you might say. And there's Barnaby Bob fella. The Bob is a real famous showman, although I'm not surprised you wouldn't have heard of him around here. He's got an eye like a hawk and a real whiz with those knives of his. Don't miss his show, which is the real highlight of the carnival. Okay, thank you. I feel like I'm gonna have to spend a lot of money here. Cotton Candy calls the clown from behind this food stand, and they make a whoop noise with a side whistle. Come and try this just invented confectionery delight. What is this? It's cotton candy, the finest in several senses of the word, spun sugar, created through revolutionary new processes. It's so light and sweet and fluffy, it's like eating a butterfly's dreams and a kitten's wishes. That's a bit weird. So it's not actually made of cotton. What? No, cotton is indigestible no matter how much chocolate you cover it with. You found out that the hard way, didn't you? How do you make it? He pats a metal box with a weird funnel coming out of the top. There's a little machine right here. Can't tell you how it works. Much as I like to brag, it's a trade secret. You invented it? Not so much. Got a dentist down south of the first ones. Dentists, go figure. Yeah, beat drumming up repeat business for themselves. But I managed to figure out how it works and make a few inventions of my own. Now I'm really curious. These secrets in the box are for nobody's eyes my own, but I'm happy to sell you some. How much does it cost? 300 meat. If I need something, I'll come back. But then again, this game seems to be you need to have the thing before you know you need it, so maybe I ought to buy it now. Never mind. Let's just have a chat with some of the other folks here, and then we'll leave it be. Here to treat yourself to some ice-cold soft drinks. You're selling them in bottles? That's right, newfangled crown cork bottle caps and all. What kinds do you have? Root beer, ginger beer, and sarsaparilla. How about grape? No. How about some cola? No. How about some vanilla? How about some hiccups? How about grape? How about orange? How about energy drinks? How about key lime, whatever the heck that is? How about diet rhubarb? How about diet key lime? How about orange? He wants grapefruit, there's a new one. I feel like this guy is going to get really bored of me eventually. Strawberry, how about plain tap water? No! Cherry, orange cream, celery. Orange cream. Oh dear, how do you make the drinks? If you're asking if we have a wagon dedicated to brewing and bottling these different kinds of sodas in our travelling carnival, then no. We stock up as we pass through large towns. How much are they? 205 meat. It's for the deposit on the bottle. Again, very expensive and oddly specific. Red Hots, calls the clown from behind the food stand. Red Hots, footlongs, 2 kinds of mustard. Oh dear, it seems like someone's already invented the hot dog. There's also a small sign that says lost and found. The clown grins and gestures to the little charcoal wheel behind him. May it interest you in a hot footlong sausage? No thank you, I'm married. Where was I? What are they made of? 250... Oh no, how much are they? 250... What condiments are available? I got onions, pickled relish, 3 kinds of mustard and 2 kinds of ketchup. That's not what you said before, you said 2 kinds of mustard. 2 kinds of ketchup? Yep, ketchup and catsup. That's a reference to something and I don't know what it is, but I do know the reference, I just don't know what it's a reference to. What kinds of mustard? Yellow, brown and blue. Blue? Oh, it looks like I'm all out of blue. Well, something was out of the blue. I'd like to see the lost and found. Oh sure, what'd you lose? Well, nothing. Well, what, you just usually figured I had anything you liked? Look, there ain't such a thing as an honest thief. You gotta pick one or the other. Oh, that's quite insane. I think actually a foot long. I'm gonna stop you right there. Seeing it as there's ladies and children's present. You want one or not? Oh, dear. No thanks. I'll parse. Right, what else have we got here? We've got the sideshow. We've got the main stage. Test your aim, test your mind, and test your might. I'm guessing those are going to be based off the 3 basic skills, aren't they? What? There's a clown here selling laboratory balloons. Oddly looks exactly like the other one, though it's hard to tell. What will makeup and all. Anything else I can do for you? Weren't you just on the other side of the circus? No, that's the other balloon guy. We all just like and use the same face paint. Did we fool you? He grins and makes a big exaggerated wink. Thanks, dude. Right, how are you, little boy? There's a kid here, searching around with a sad look on his face. I lost my lucky bottle cap. You haven't seen it, have you? But I'll keep an eye out. What does it look like? A shiny steel iron with a little chain. I will go and ask the lost and found man if he has that sort of thing. And that will be our last thing for the day, I believe, or for the week. Lost and found a lucky bottle cap. He pulls a wooden box out from under the counter and looks inside. Appears you're in luck. This one yours? He puts the box in the counter for you to see and turns back to the good for a moment. Look inside. There are many interesting things here I'd like to steal, but the smelling salts I can get anywhere. I don't need those. A pocket knife and a silk handkerchief do sound kind of useful, but the little child was sad. I think we'll help the person. I can't get more of him, can I? My pocket knife. Yes, my pocket knife. Thanks. I've also lost my handkerchief. I ain't gonna push my luck, I'm just gonna get the heck out of here. It won't work, that went far better than I was ever expecting it to. Goodness. Hey, guess what I've got? Your thing. No problem, kiddo. It's a real nice balloon. You want to trade it? I'll give you my lucky bottle cap for it. Yeah, okay. Thank you. And the kid runs off with his new balloon. Ah, I made someone happy today. This is kind of cute. Presumably this belonged to that kid, because you can't imagine there's more than one person around who would have been so into a bottle cap they'd hang it into a chain. I'm convinced that's a Sunset Sarsaparilla Star reference from Fallout New Vegas. Never mind. Thankfully, the previous owner does not appear to have gotten much use out of it. Folding little penknife looks like it's not going to be useful as a weapon, but you never know when it might come in handy for something else. Plus, it was free. Who can complain? Me, because I can complain about anything, because I'm British. That's not the point. We do love a good moan. Speaking of moaning, I have to get on with other stuff, because it's getting really late. Okay. Oh, I feel like we made some progress now, and the combat isn't holding me back so much. I just have to farm occasionally, hither and thither, and rely a hell of a lot on Susie. But, yeah. Next time, we will finish off exploring this circus, and, we'll see if we can get the rest of the Professor's didgeridoo-dahs, and probably go and investigate that pickle factory, because I think they're going to be the last group of bandits. So anyway, that's enough of all that. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.